How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, All Cops Are Bastards, and Trans Rights supporting channel. You better be supporting that shit too, or you can get the fuck out of here. This is, of course, Inhumans Season 1, Episode 3, Divide and Conquer. And that is, of course, Maximus dividing the people, so that way he can conquer them. But it seems like he wouldn't want to divide them any further, because he kind of wants control of all of them. So I'm not sure. All these titles are very colonial. We have, Behold the Inhumans and Those Who Would Destroy Us, and now Divide and Conquer. It's all very colonialist, which fits in with the Inhumans being a royal family and Maximus's coup and all that. So really cool with the naming themality that we're going with. I'm curious if we're going to stick with that all the way through, or if that's just something I'm seeing into right now so early. Anyway, let's get into this. I am very excited to see what goes on with Gorgon and the Hawaiian guys. That's honestly my most excited thing for this. That and what goes on with Black Bolt. Like, how is he going to... Not how is he going to get out of prison, but is he going to get out of prison via somebody else, or is he just going to decide, okay, time for me to leave, busts out? Let's see. So, things are changing up. We now got Crystal down on Earth. Black Bolt is now being taken to who knows where. We now have Medusa trying to chase them down and working with the reporter girl. And we now have Karnak trying to, live on his own. And he doesn't want to be a part of the royal family anymore because he's too kind of afraid to go back to them now. A lot of big changes that are happening. Let's go through them. Let's start with Black Bolt. So, very, very happy to see Desmond again. I said I was going to look up his actor, and I did not look up his actor, so I'm going to do it right now while I'm talking. It is Henry Ian Cusick. Really glad seeing him again. He is probably the best actor from Lost, and he's not even like one of the main characters. So, again, I would also say that Miles, what is his name? Gonna look up him now. I always want to get their other actor name. I don't want to just call him the character from another show. Ken Leung. Yeah, both of them I feel like a lot of people would agree are some of the strongest actors from Lost, and they were both not, Desmond was definitely a much more major character, but they were both not main characters. So, glad to see those are the people they have picked, the people who were clearly the strongest, as opposed to just getting some big name person. And I'm curious to see what role he's going to do in here. Like, again, both actors also are playing such insanely different characters, it seems like, and the visuals of them are so crazily different that it's hard to, I don't have that problem where I'm looking at an actor that I recognize and it's hard to adjust them to a new role. I'm not having to deal with that with either one of the two of them, which is fantastic. I mean, we haven't seen much of the other guy yet, but... The only problem I had with Black Bolt and all that going on this episode was the Black Bolt felt very passive. I don't know what he would have done if none of this happened. And that's what I was most curious about. Why did he let himself be taken in here? Because, a big thing that needs to be noted is I don't think he knows that Medusa is missing her hair. So that's going to be a big thing when they meet back up. But, regardless of that... did he think Medusa was going to, break him out or something? Because, he's definitely stronger than she is, and he can, even if he can't control his power, you would think that he would be able to control it to some degree to be able to break out. Even if it's not, enough to, blow open a door or something, it would be enough to break open the wall, and maybe it might go pretty far, but we saw a grunt is enough to, make a cop car go flying, but it's not going to, do a lot more than that. So it's safe-ish to use it controlled. That said, the only thing I can think of as to why he let himself be taken in is that he can't outrun them. He has realized that I don't know where I am, I don't know what this place is, this is not a place where I could outrun their police force, because he would know what that is. He is not aware of the way they do their things, but he is aware of the idea of them, because they have the Royal Guard as well. So, they have an idea. And yeah, I think that he thinks he just can't outrun them, and that's why he just was, going along with this. But seriously, so much is going there's a coup going on, his family is in danger, and he's just kind of like, you would think that he would try and be like, even if I know I can't outrun it, I'm going to try anyway. Of course, the plot needs to happen this way, but I don't know, it just felt strange to me, and I'm curious to see where they're going to take Black Bolt going forward, because again, he's a very emotional character, and this episode didn't make him feel very emotional. This episode made him feel very stoic, and whatever. Which is saying something, because we got a lot of flashbacks in this episode showing him speaking a lot and showing his personality before he had to keep quiet his whole life. And to be honest, I kind of wish we didn't get those flashbacks. I kind of wish we did not get those flashbacks at all. Because I don't know, I feel like they hammered in stuff that we already knew. The Maximus one where they were talking about, him being human all the way down to his, genetics, yeah, it's crazy to, hear it in those terms. We kind of already knew that. That was the only scene where I'm like, okay, that one maybe leave. That one was a good scene. Regardless if it was stuff we already knew, it was a good scene. But it was all stuff we knew about already. Maximus and talking to his parents, and the such heavy-handedness of Maximus being I said Maximus, I'm going to say Black Bolt a couple seconds ago, but new sentence, Maximus being so heavy-handed in the but when my brother dies, I can be king, right? And just, there are a lot of flashback. I felt like they were really forcing Maximus's character more than it needed to be. I feel like it was already pretty well stated, and we're only, showing it more and more throughout the episode as is, so do we really need the flashback? I also felt like it made it too close to Loki and Thor. Before, I felt there was enough distinction between them, but now it feels like they're getting too close. That flashback specifically. I just wouldn't have done that. That would not have been my choice, but I can see why they would for the general audience. But yeah, I am it's really cool to see the natives and the Inhumans sort of working together against the system and against the people who are out to get them, because a lot of these titles can relate to both the Inhumans up on the moon and the Inhumans down here on Earth. They're going through the same exact things, so them teaming up, and not even teaming up with just Inhuman ones, but also we have the regular natives from that were in the I don't remember what it's called, but they were all soldiers, and they were obviously they didn't, when they say we had a king once, they didn't serve the king, but they are very nationalistic and everything. So it is cool seeing them having a history with the United States being the ones who would be the divide and conquer, and the ones who would be those who are out to destroy us. It still fits. It all fits together. And those guys with Gorgon are a little bit questionable, as is Gorgon himself. It's both sides you don't fully want to root for, but that is totally fine. It is just a I like that these guys they're not trying to make them out to be totally, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but now I do like that they're not trying to make them out to be really good, perfect caricatures or anything like that. It makes sense why they would rush into this and be willing to kill and all that. They are soldiers, and they are nationalistic, and they are happy with what they did as soldiers, which is kind of messed up, but it makes sense for their characters as to why they would do this. And it makes them more than just, a caricature, I think. It again ties in with the moral grayness of every single character in the series in a much more interesting way than the just moral blackness of every character in S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, I'm curious now to see, what's going to go on with Medusa and the reporter girl. What's going to go on there. Was she Hawaiian? I don't think so. I think she's just some white girl from California, I think. I think that's where we first saw them at. But it also, so they are not they're not some sort of space program specifically, trying to, general space stuff. They are a very specific, we are trying to put a hotel on the moon sort of group. So that also makes a lot more sense as to why they were in just a random warehouse doing all this kind of stuff, because they don't have a whole lot of functionality or anything. Thank you very much. So with Maximus and Crystal, I think they did an excellent job of characterizing both of them through this whole episode. Of Crystal being the person who is not always going to have the smartest plan and has a lot of plans that are very easily, even as an audience, you can poke holes in them. But, that she is always trying to come up with a plan. She is always trying to do something. She wants to help. She's just not, she's not never going to come up with the best plan. And Maximus being able to spin almost anything. No matter what happens, he is going to be able to spin it. He is going to be able to turn it his way and get the people on his side and see it from his perspective. And he's not wrong, because they have all lived their lives. They know how it is. It's not something that needs a lot of convincing. He's just got to choose his words right, and it's going to be extremely easy to win them over. It's just choosing those right words to not make them hate you, because you also have had so much privilege and were a part of the royal family that it would be very easy for them to go against Maximus. So he's more working it from that angle than trying to just get them on board in general, because they already are. They would be on board for this sort of thing. It's just trying to get them on his side personally. And I feel very bad for Bernaggio. Like, this is the worst possible time could have gone through Terrigenesis with that ability as well. It's just going to only be, he's going to turn into essentially Maximus's right-hand man in the worst way possible. He's just going to be used as the sort of prediction thing. And so I suppose that maybe how his powers do work, he doesn't see anything if nothing bad is going to happen. And maybe it is only to the person who touches them, because it's always been Maximus. So, we were then sent a kill squad to go after Gorgon. We have, Auron, who we're already familiar with. Then we have Flora, who seems to be able to control plants and all that. And then we now have, she seems to have to put her hands on the ground, or maybe because, she's just trying to, connect it to everything. But maybe it is that she has to put her hands on the ground. I guess it is she just has to touch whatever she is changing, and so if she puts her hand on the ground, it touches everything, essentially. We have Mortis, who I thought might be going for a rigor mortis sort of thing, but no, he's just a big old giant laser beam face. And apparently this helmet fixes it. It's got to be one strong-ass helmet. He wants freedom, and I can see why, because they have him locked in a room for eternity. And again, these episodes just continue to show more and more why the royal family is so fucked up. But, it's hard to, say one way or the other if they should give him freedom or not, because we don't know much about his character right now, so it's hard to say. I would definitely rather him have freedom than be where he is right now, but at the same time, that's probably equally that. What does freedom mean? On Adelan? On Earth? Or, what is even the plan here? It's very unclear, but both sides, locking away or not locking away, don't seem like a good strategy here. So then, we have Karnak, and he comes across a group of people selling a weed, and they're willing to kill people because of it. It is a hell of a lot, and they seem to be, doing something big with it. They are not, this ain't a casual situation. This is a big thing they're trying to start, with just the 3 of them. Bad plan, but they're gonna try it anyway. Now Karnak wants to help, and he wants to be a part of it, and I'm curious to see where we're gonna go here. But there's not a whole lot I have to say about it. The characters that, the three people introduced in that plotline, kind of a lot more generic, than the some of the other, supporting background characters we've seen. These are the ones I'm least interested in out of all of the things going on right now. I'm interested in Karnak doing this, but I'm not interested in the characters around him. And, I'm mainly interested in what it means for him, how this will affect him. Who's going to stumble upon him first? Is it going to be Crystal, maybe? Is it going to be Triton, maybe, somehow? I don't know. We're still not sure what the hell's going on with Triton. Is he dead? Is he alive? I'm still staking on he's alive and he's a fish boy. That's my guess. Really, really enjoyed all the stuff with Black Bolt in jail, by the way. Didn't really talk about that aspect of it, but him just we knew what was going to happen with the guy that helped him get out. I don't think we learned his name, but we knew what was going to go on. He's like, yeah, let me see him. And it's like, okay, if you've been following the plot of this episode at all, you should know that it's going to be a misdirect sort of talk with him sort of thing. I did think maybe he's going to try and beat him up to get info out of him, but that was a maybe this is a possibility, but I don't think so. And so, yeah, then setting up the courtyard thing with it. We're gonna let you go out and expecting all these prisoners to beat him up because he is an Inhuman, I guess, or because he's not talking to it really shows you like the actual mentality of the police, where they would be like, well, this guy, beat up a bunch of or like not beat up, but got a police officer injured and is not talking to the police. So now all these prisoners are gonna beat him up for that. Like, oh, you think you're hot shit, not talking to the police? And yeah, it was so satisfying to see the fist bump and everybody just breaking out into a riot. I mean, of course they have to use it to their advantage to get out of there, but it would have been great to just see, the whole thing. Like if Black Bolt accidentally got like hit or tased again or something and broke open the wall and everybody just started flooding out. Would have been even better, but I'll take what I can get. Also, Medusa just, breaking into somebody's house and eating their food and stealing their stuff. Don't blame her at all. They're rich as hell. Don't care. Don't feel bad at all. But, she doesn't understand that. So that's the real issue, is her lack of understanding of what she's doing. Like, she's just doing it to anybody. I don't really think I guess she would understand the hierarchy. She did go into it because it was the royal place. But either way, she's not going to be like, oh, well, it's fine if I'm doing this because they're rich and everything. She's not going to think that. And so the Hawaiian Island drug ring exposed was not anything to do with our other drug ring going on. Completely separate Hawaiian Island drug ring that was exposed. Maybe that's what created the hole that these people are trying to fill now? I don't know. And so now Crystal is in the woods somewhere with some dude on an ATV, and Lockjaw is indisposed. So I feel like she can probably handle herself against some random person, but who knows what's going to actually go down here? Who knows if he has other people? Who knows if he is an Inhuman? I feel like this is all going to be okay, though. I hope this does not turn into some rom-com scenario. Dear God, I just realized that's probably what's going to happen. Oh no, please God, spare me from this. I don't want to see it. I'll see you guys in the next episode, where we are certainly going to get Crystal and this guy rom-com stuff. Oh no, goodbye.